I had very low energy, could not do anything besides work, sleep, repeat. I lost 15 pounds. I would go to eat something, and as it was going down, it would feel like it would get stuck. After 2 times of that, I just knew, okay, there's something serious going on. I remember I was still working through all of this, and I was in a meeting, a work meeting, when I got a phone call and I saw it was my surgeon. So I stepped away and he said, "Hey, so we got the results back from the laparoscopy. Unfortunately, it has spread to your peritoneum. So that does make this stage 4, and that does take surgery off the table." At that point, I was told that there was a trial opening up where I could receive a chemo port in my stomach and receive chemo directly to my peritoneum. Similar to HIPEC, because I know HIPEC is a surgical procedure where they go in and they apply the chemo to the abdomen. It is a different chemo regimen. However, it's kind of less invasive because it's not a procedure every time. It's just like chemo that you would receive in your chest port every 2 weeks. And I thought, wow, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need. Sign me up. So I had the procedure to get the port in my stomach. At that point, he also did another laparoscopy just to look around. And after that, he shared with me that the ovaries didn't look completely normal. So it'd be in my best interest to have them removed. I did 3 rounds of intraperitoneal chemo. Everything was good to go for the surgery. First, I had my ovaries removed. I had my stomach removed. I had part of my esophagus removed. Out of 53 lymph nodes, 27 came back as cancerous, and that's not great. That it does not seem that I had any response to the systemic chemo that I had received prior to doing the trial. He said, "You are supposed to do 3 more rounds of intraperitoneal chemo. However, with how many lymph nodes came back as cancerous, that kind of signals that this is being aggressive, and it also signals distant metastasis." But we looped in my medical oncologist, and they shared that they felt like it was safe to continue with the trial. And then after that, we would revisit. After the trial, they said, "You know what, let's just move to observation." Well, that didn't sit well with me. I said, "Well, I know that we didn't get clear margins in my esophagus, so I had concerns about that. In addition, this has not shown up on the scans up to this point. So relying solely on scans does not make me feel comfortable." I said, "What about Signatera testing?" My oncologist told me, "Well, we typically don't like to do that. It seems to cause a lot of anxiety in our patients. However, I feel like I would have more anxiety without it because I know that the scans don't catch it. And if I were to see that the numbers go up, I would know that that's just signaling that we need to do additional testing." And she said, "Okay, it sounds like you have a pretty good understanding of how we can use this tool, so I will implement this." I have not been told that I have no evidence of disease. They told me that I do have cancer still in my body. However, at this point, we just kind of gotta wait and observe and figure out where it's going to. My team has shared that they feel like if we start systemic chemo right now while everything is super tiny, the cancer can become resistant to the second line of chemo. And if that happens, we don't really have a strong third line chemo. My son, that is my biggest motivator to keep fighting. I want to be here for him. We have a very close relationship, even though he's 15. He's a teenager, but we are close, and I just want to be here to see his accomplishments. I want to see him graduate high school. I want to see him get married, have children. My spouse has been there for me through all of it. He's been my biggest motivator as far as when I feel like I'm struggling. he's my safe place to express what I'm feeling and just remind me of how strong I am, how much I've overcame so far.